Hey everyone, this is Matthew Pelletier, the math coach at Sand Hill. Just wanted to do a basic walkthrough real quick on how to enable some new features on ThinkCentral that are not enabled by default. Again, these are things that you're going to have to manually add. They are not enabled by default. So we're going to start off with the ThinkCentral through class link. Go ahead and click on that. If it asks you to log in, you can go ahead and do that. Mine is only asking me because I'm logged in through somebody else's account. And once you're into ThinkCentral, you're going to go right here where it says Manage Classes. Again, we're going to go in through ThinkCentral, right through ClassLink, and we're going to click on Manage Classes. Next step is to scroll down a little bit, and you will see your name here with whatever grade you teach. So in this case, it's 2021 St. Clair Math Grade 1. We're not going to click on any of the buttons. We're actually going to click on the blue link itself for the name. And the next step is actually right here. So this button by default is unchecked. That says Add Adaptive Learning Products. Again, this by default is unchecked, Add Adaptive Learning Products. If you click that button, you're going to be able to add the personal math trainer to your Go Math account. And then you can actually scroll down and see if there's any other products that we offer that you'd like to add to your account as well. So I'm logged in under a first grade teacher. I just went through and clicked pretty much every first grade content. You might already have your entire grade levels worth of content assigned to you. It kind of just depends what course you teach. But if, for example, you had a really, really high kid and you wanted to go grade up, you can do that. You can also go a grade down if you'd like to. So we're going to scroll all the way down to the bottom. You're going to have to accept the terms and conditions and press the Save button. So I'll go over that one more time. We're going to click the Add Adaptive Learning Products. Make sure you check the box for Personal Math Trainer. It'll say whatever grade level you are. Add whatever courses or materials you'd like from different grades. Press I accept the terms and conditions and press the Save button. Now, when you do that, it's going to bring you to another screen that looks very, very similar to what you were just on. You don't need to do anything else here. We can go right back to our home screen, and we're going to do that by clicking the ThinkCentral logo. So now when I go to assign things, I can add different assignments than I had access to before. So I'm going to click on assignments from the home screen. Let me show you that one more time. I'm going to scroll down a little bit, and the blue word assignment, we're going to go ahead and click on that. And all of this is information that you can customize as you see fit. So you can do a date range, or you can pick a specific set of days, whatever your preference is. If you want it to end on a certain day, you want to give the kids 4 or 5 days to do it, great. If you teach multiple classes, which pretty much only applies to 4th and 5th, you can choose if you only want to do one class or if you want to do everybody. And that's pretty much it for editing on this page. Now the next step would be go right over here, add assignment. Add activity and add test do the exact same thing as that add assignment button. Add assignment covers everything. Add test is only going to show you tests. Add activity, again, is only going to show you interactive activities. If you go through add assignment, you're just going to get access to everything by default. So we're going to go ahead and click on add assignment, and we have a few different options here. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to give our project a name. So I'm going to title it Sample PMT, which stands for Personal Math Trainer. Student instructions, do it. Add searchable resource. This is one of the most important parts. Text only would be if you just want to type directions, like go to this page in your math book and do it. URL would be if you wanted to link to a different website. These are things that you would probably do in Schoology, not in ThinkCentral. So the only one that we're going to use is searchable resource. We're going to go ahead and click on that and press go. Now it's going to come up with the majority of resources that you're allowed to use. However, you do have to search in some way, shape, or form. So first grade right now is working on OA 47. So I'm going to go ahead and type that in. And we're going to limit it only to first grade. Apparently third grade has the same standard. So there are right now 82 different resources that I can assign specifically for that standard. okay? Now, there's another thing that you can search for known as the Interactive Student Edition, ISE. If you find which lesson matches, which just happens to be Chapter 4, you can go ahead and assign that as well. So I'm going to go ahead and do this one for my kids, the Interactive Student Edition. I don't want the teacher view, though. I want the student view, so I'm going to have to scroll through a little bit until I find that. Here you go. Interactive Student Edition, Student View, Lesson 4.2. I'm going to go ahead and assign that to my students, and it's going to come up with the same thing that I was just on before. I have to select whatever class that I want. If you have your kids grouped by level in ThinkCentral, you can assign a group, or you can manually add 3 or 4 kids at a time. You can also choose to add your entire class if it's something you'd like to assign to your entire class. That's what I'm going to do right now. So again, I'm going to name this Sample Personal Math Trainer. You can keep the same name as before. You can pick your date range, times available. If you only want it to be available during school hours, you could potentially do that. I don't want that setting right now, so I'm going to leave it. Allow the students to pause it and come back later. That is set to yes by default. That way they don't need a password to log back in. Allow students to see their answers. Do you want them to be able to go back and see what they got right and wrong? I can set that to yes. If I don't want them to know, kind of like it's a quiz, I could press no. I'm not going to do that from my end. And you can also set what you consider to be mastery level. Now, the beauty of Personal Math Trainer is it's going to get easier or harder depending on how they answer their questions. So at that mastery level, if I set it to 80%, if the kids are answering 80% of questions correctly, the questions are going to become progressively harder. However, if they get 79% or below correct, those questions are going to become progressively easier. So you can keep it at 75, you can go up to 80, whatever your personal preference is. I would highly recommend not doing 100% because if the kid makes a simple mistake, all of a sudden all of their questions are going to get easier and that's going to mess them up in the long run. So make sure you're picking something realistic. Usually 60 to 80 would be a good range. Do you want to save your changes? Yes. Okay. So that is it. I now see this assigned under Sample PMT. It shows me that 0 of 16 students have begun working on it, and I can show the answers, I can edit it, I can delete this assignment, I can copy it, whatever I need to do from my dashboard right here, okay? So what I'm going to do now is I am going to log in a new incognito window. This is not something you would need to do on your end, but I'm going to show you what this would look like from a student's perspective. So I'm going to go to the ClassLink Launchpad. I'm going to log out of my teacher account, and I'm going to log in as a student. All right, so now that I'm logged in as a student, this is the student version of ClassLink, so you're going to have a little bit less showing. However, one of the apps that it will show is going to be ThinkCentral. So the students will click on ThinkCentral through ClassLink. You cannot do it through Schoology. They do need to go back through ClassLink. And they should have, I think I'm still under a teacher view. Sorry, give me 1 second. So let's try that again. No, still logging me in as a teacher. Okay. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to close out my browsers and reopen, just to make sure I'm getting that student view. Again, this is not something you have to do on your end. It's just an option if you'd like to see what the kids see from their end. Okay, so again, I scroll down, I find his ThinkCentral link. Again, because I am impersonating somebody, that's not my own account. My computer is asking me to verify. This should not happen to you unless you're pretending to be a student. And here is a student view. So there's 3 buttons that the kids can click on. My library would be if they have any textbooks assigned to them. My scores, they can actually see whatever test scores they got. But the main one we're going to focus on today is things to do. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. And here is that assignment, that sample personal math trainer that we had before. Go ahead and click on that. Now I'm going to stop my share for 2 seconds because I did not previously have it shared with audio.
How can you count and write?
You're good. Okay, so the personal math trainer is going to look just like this. It isn't kind of like an interactive textbook. You're going to be able to go ahead and press the start button, and it's a fully interactive lesson built in.
Hello! There are lots of cool things in the barn, like these buckets to feed the animals that my friend Sure the sheep found. I wonder how many buckets there are. Click the bottom bucket so we can see them. Great! Now we can see all of the buckets. How many buckets do we have? What number do these buckets show? Ready to count? Let's go! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Uh-oh, I don't know the next number. Do you? Let's go learn how to count and write the number that these buckets show.
Again, we get nice indications.
We are going to practice counting and writing 10. You can use the 10 frame to help you count. Let us count to 10. Click the counter to start. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10. Since the last counting word is the number of objects in the set, this set has 10 counters. This is the number 10. The number 10 is written with a 1 and a 0.
Okay, I'm going to go ahead and skip
Let us
ahead a little
practice
bit.
counting objects and showing numbers some more. How many paper clips are there? Now let's practice with the personal math trainer. Now try your homework on your own with the...
Okay, so personal math trainer is built into these lessons. It is basically that adaptive practice that I showed you before. So Leo has 8 marbles. He has the same number of marbles in each hand. How many marbles does Leo have in each hand? 8 marbles, 2 groups. So they would go right here and they would be able to type in. They
You
can
did
type
it!
their answer right there. They can save and come back later. They have videos that have instruction built right in.
Joey, how come there are so many marbles on the floor?
So again, you can see this kind of stuff built right in there. You can view example problems that will show you something similar. And you can also click for the page in the textbook that matches up with this. So for example, this was 4.2. It's going to immediately link you to 4.2 in the textbook. Alternatively, if you really wanted to print the page, if you have a parent who wants to do that, you can print that out here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead on to the next question. Count how many eggs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Again, you click it. You
did it!
answer, and you can move on. Now in higher grade levels, these personal math trainers will have up to 10 questions. This is kind of like the first grade kindergarten level, so you're only getting 1 question.
Let's practice with the personal... Now try your homework on your own with the personal math trainer. It includes the exercise you saw at the beginning of the lesson.
Okay, so again, I'm going to click on that whistle and it's going to load up. We can get the examples, we can get the textbook. However, you'll notice at the homework version, which is also labeled as evaluate, There is no video instruction. So there's no way for them to go back and check at this point. This, again, will give you that adaptive assessment, and you will get a report on this later on.